Let's be real for a second. In the world of crypto, how can you ever be sure the smart contract you're about to use is actually safe? We've all heard the horror stories, the exploits, the rug pulls. It's a huge problem of trust. So today, we're going to break down a brand new tool on Cardano that's built to tackle this head-on, UPLC Link. Okay, so let's really get into this. Every single time you interact with a dApp, a decentralized application, you're essentially sending your funds to a smart contract. You're putting your trust in the code behind that long, random-looking address. But what if you can't read that code? And let's face it, most of us can't. This is the fundamental issue. You need to know that a dApp is legit, but you're basically interacting with a total black box. And here's a perfect picture of that black box problem. On the left, you see the code a developer actually writes. It's human readable, you can kind of follow the logic. But on the right, well, that's what actually ends up on the blockchain. It's called UPLC, or untyped Plutus core. It's compiled bytecode, basically gibberish to human eyes. This right here creates a massive trust gap. How do you know the app you're using is really running the code it's supposed to? So how do we bridge that gap? Well, this is where the hero of our story comes in, UPLC.link. It's a project designed to do one thing and do it really well: forge a verifiable, totally transparent link between the code developers write and the code that's actually executing on-chain. So what is UPLC.link exactly? Think of it as a verification service. It creates this cryptographically secure connection between a smart contract on the blockchain and its public source code, like on a GitHub page. It's like building a bridge of trust, one that allows absolutely anyone to check that the code they can read and audit is the exact same code that's running and handling their funds. And you gotta love the motivation behind it. It's a classic developer origin story. And this quote from its creator, Giovanni Gargiulo, just says it all. He was just tired of hearing people compare Cardano to other blockchains that had certain tools. You can just feel that frustration, right? And that drive. It's that perfect moment where you see a problem, you get fed up that no one's solving it, and you just say, fine, I'll do it myself. And that passion, well, it created a really powerful tool for the entire community. Okay, so how does this magic actually happen? It's not magic, of course, but it is a really clever automated process that all happens on-chain. Let's break down exactly how this link gets forged. The whole process is actually beautifully simple. First, a developer gives the service the public location of their code, usually on GitHub, along with something called a commit hash. Just think of it as a unique serial number for that exact version of the code. Next, the UPLC link service, acting like a totally neutral referee, goes and downloads that precise version of the code. Then, and this is the key part, the service compiles the code all by itself and generates what's called a script hash. This is basically a unique digital fingerprint of that compiled code. No two different pieces of code can ever have the same fingerprint. Then, the service compares the fingerprint it just made with the fingerprint of the contract that's already live on the blockchain. And finally, if those two fingerprints are a perfect identical match, boom, the link is confirmed. The proof gets published right on the blockchain in a metadata transaction for anyone to see, forever. All right, so that's the how, but what about the so what? What does this really mean for the average person using Cardano? Let's take a look at the before and after. This is what we see right now. When you go to sign a transaction, you get this long, intimidating, totally anonymous string of letters and numbers. You have to just trust that it's the right contract. It feels like a real leap of faith, doesn't it? And this is the after. With UPLC.link integrated into the ecosystem, that same scary address now comes with a simple, clear, and incredibly powerful symbol, a verified checkmark. It's an instant signal of trust. It tells you, at a glance, that the code behind this address is public and has been cryptographically proven to be the exact code that's about to run. So who wins in this scenario? Well, pretty much everyone. As a user, you get that priceless peace of mind knowing your funds are safe and going exactly where they're supposed to. For developers, they can now transparently prove the integrity of their work, which is absolutely massive for building a credible brand and a loyal community. And for auditors and compliance folks, oh man, it makes their jobs way easier. They can finally confirm that the code they spent weeks auditing is the exact same version that's actually deployed and running on the blockchain. This is just the beginning, though. The big vision for UPLC.link is for it to become a foundational layer of trust for the entire Cardano ecosystem, expanding this circle of transparency everywhere. And this roadmap really lays it all out. Right now, we've seen a cool demo with a block explorer, but the goal is to have this built in natively to all the major explorers. Now, the real holy grail for user experience: wallet support. Imagine seeing that little green check mark right inside your wallet before you even hit sign. That's a game changer. And of course, while it all started with the Aiken programming language, the plan is to expand to support Plutus, Scalus, and all the other languages on Cardano, making this a truly universal standard for trust.
So let's end on this thought. What happens when this level of transparency isn't the exception, but the rule? When every single smart contract can be easily verified by anyone, it fundamentally changes the game. It lowers the barrier to entry for cautious new users, it boosts security for all of us, and it builds this incredible foundation of verifiable trust for the next wave of innovation. So I'll leave you with this question. What do you think that future looks like? What new possibilities does that kind of trust enable?